Buenos dias, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our morning call. This is Jamie Irvin filling in for Alyssa Pinkleton on our final 3-day stretch. Hope you all had a great weekend, that you well rested, that you are ready to get in this market and get some money in your pocket. We got some information already surfacing. There's a global sell-off. Dow futures drops 800 points. The S&P futures lose 3% as global market sell-off intensifies. Also, while that's happening, we got Bitcoin dropping below 50,000 for the first time since February, which, my opinion, people are always overreacting. But the other thing that caught my attention was CrowdStrike says it isn't to blame for Delta's flight cancellation after that July outage. I don't know, man. Feel like Delta can't win for losing right about now. So it is what it is. Let's jump into the pre-market. The Dow futures is down 2.77%. S&P futures down 4.07%. NAS futures down the most, of course, 5.57%. Listen, nobody is happier than me that everything is falling. I seem to do better when things is dropping. Europe, of course, is all down. Their markets plunged 2.6%, and Asia all down. The Japan's Nikkei logs the worst day since 1987 Black Monday crash. That's crazy. Which direction do y'all think the VIX is right now? The VIX crazily before market open. These numbers don't even seem sane right now. I'm gonna have to hit refresh for 100, and the VIX is up 178% to 65.22. Let me hit refresh just to make sure I'm not being tricked on this. That's insane. That's higher than COVID. But it is what it is. It's a market sell-off happening, right? That's what it's doing. Stocks is tumbling, right? Folks taking profit, etc., etc. Let's check out our economic calendar. We have for Forex Factory, we got an orange folder, 9:45, final services PMI. A red folder at 10 o'clock, ISM services PMI. 2 o'clock, we have a yellow folder, which is the loan officer survey. And then 5 o'clock is FOMC member daily is speaking. So that's going on today. So technically, from what we're normally used to seeing, there's not a whole lot of stuff happening. But for our normal 10 o'clock turnaround that a lot of us watch for, we can definitely see that we got an orange and red folder that's going to be happening right there at the beginning, right? For investing.com, 9:45, 2 stars, S&P Global Composite PMI for July. 9:45, 3 stars, S&P Global Services PMI for July. 10 o'clock, 1 star, CB Employment Trends Index for July. Also, the ISM Non-Manufacturing Business Activity for July. 2 stars, again, still 10 o'clock, ISM Non-Manufacturing Employment for July. 1 star, ISM Non-Manufacturing New Orders for July. And then 3 stars for the ISM Non-Manufacturing PMI for July. Also, 3 stars, ISM Non-Manufacturing Prices for July. 11:30, we have a run of 1 star events, the 3-month bill auction, the 6-month bill auction. And at 2 o'clock, the loan officer survey, which is 1 star over here. And then, of course, 5 o'clock, FOMC member daily speaks. That's considered a 2-star event. So really, 10 o'clock, even over here, that kind of ends the quote unquote run of major events. Obviously, if there's a market sell-off happening this morning, if this thing don't gap down at the beginning, I will be shocked. Okay. I'm not so sure I will be buying calls today, is all I'm saying. So, what we got happening here? For Mancini, historic move in SPX as posted on Thursday, 4 p.m. The next macro leg down began on the fail of the 53.97, and we are now down 250 points for the biggest short in years. As posted, nonstop, nothing to do but hold shorts. 51.41 is support. Then 51.27, 50.98. Must reclaim 5,200 to pop. So 51.41 is what I will be putting on my chart. Let's go 51.41. Put that on there. Right. If you have any tickers, anything you want looked at, feel free to drop those. If you're in something, can always look at that as well. On the right. Mancini, I'll just say support. Go that route. We down here with it. Dude, this is what it did the last session. Gap down. Right here. Gap down right here and just continue down. It never retraced back up to where it opened or anything higher. And this is what it looks like on the daily chart. That gap down, they pushed back up at the end of the day. But that's about it. Epic fail happening right there. This is what it looks like on the 4 hour, because I know some of us use the 4 hour. I will say that the 4 hour chart pointed out something interesting, at least as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't expecting to see this cheer formation, leg in, base, leg out for that gap down. So there's a cheer formation right there for seller zone. And then go down a little bit further. Let's see here. So 5,300. Depending on how you chart, some people would use leg in, these two in the base, leg out. Or some people will go leg in, one in the base, leg out. I probably would do two of them. But we have a buyer zone and a seller zone. This buyer zone is about almost at 5,300. Right about there. So I know some people use the 4 hour chart. I have been increasing my 4 hour chart view because I was doing the daily too much and missing entries. So I'm focusing more. And don't forget, we have this gap right here. This is on SPX. We're on a 4 hour, 43.82 to 54.08. So that gap is there, and that gap can be resistance. So you got resistance, and then you have the base for this cheer right here. So I didn't mark that because I don't want to start putting a whole bunch of lines on the chart. I normally do that when nobody's looking. All right. So totally appreciate everybody showing up for this morning. Good morning, Lady T, B. Spencer, Ward Wilson, Marsha Dawson, good morning. Good morning, LL. Arlissa, good morning. Janae, Karen C, good morning. Nori, good morning, Nori. Good morning, Saida. Saida the writer. Good morning. Glad to see you all on the call. Let's hop into our first request. which is XSP. Y'all keep typing GM, and I be thinking y'all talking about General Motors when y'all really saying good morning. I'm like, oh, General Motors. Let's see what these cats talk about. Nobody's requesting that. So this is XSP again on the 4 hour, and I'm gonna switch it up to the daily, but we just looked at SPX, so XSP is the same thing, and it is just the mini CBOE mini, but here is leg in, base, leg out that we were just discussing. As a matter of fact, what I'll do this, I believe we charted this look on this call in the morning. I forgot which day it was, but I know it was last week, and I was saying that this looked like a reversal, and I was judging it by now on the weekly, go to daily. I was judging it by these two would be the shoulders, this would be like the head. So it was kind of looking at it from the perspective of this right here, and I was thinking it was gonna possibly reverse, which is what happened. This is the reason why I started kind of focusing more on those chart patterns, try to get an understanding of what they're doing. This was what was charted, I believe, last week as well. So what essentially happened is that it came into this seller zone area that we had charted, and it did not go through. Did not go through. This is 31st, August 1st, and 31st of July, August 1st, and it definitely hit a reversal, and it went through this buyer zone, which, to be honest with you, with as many candles that were right here, I was assuming that it probably would go through there like it did, so I was actually not surprised. So I'm gonna clear this off because we were looking at this on the daily. We can still chart this on the daily if we so choose, but I want to show you what this will look like on the 4 hour as well. You can still use the 4 hour numbers. You could do weekly if you wanted to as well. But the thing is, when you get up here to the weekly, well, I won't even go into there. That'd be getting too far into the weeds. But do the same thing. Go right here, and we will do a cheer formation. Again, we're just doing a 4 hour because it has some nice clear zones, right? So let's go here, and this would be our cheer formation. Right there, leg in, base, leg out. There's a gap right here. I'm going to put that there. Right. And this is a 4 hour gap. So I'm going to mark this to say 4 hour gap. And we'll show the name on the right and the price on the right. Right. For XSP. And I'm going to go right here for my buyer zone. And again, this can be done a number of ways. Let me blow this up for you. Some people would do it this way and go leg in, base, leg out. That's a shorter leg out. Not illegal. I prefer to go this route. Leg in, two in the base, leg out. Feel like this is a little bit of a stronger leg out for me. And I chart how I see my money being affected. And I would be more comfortable With that, plus I have a little bit of a gap out, a bit of a gap up right there. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough. So what we have here is a failure to communicate. What we have here is our leg in, base, leg out. We have our current price, which is sandwiched right between the seller zone and the buyer zone on a 4-hour chart. I'll be putting buyer zone here, seller zone here. Gonna go, I think it's left, and duplicate. So what would I be looking at after charting this? Got a couple different things you can look at, but my first instinct would be to say a possible iron condor. I'll wait until the market opens, though. I wouldn't mess with nothing till 10:30 at the very least. With the VIX being as high as it is, I would let these things settle. But if we're going according to our normal numbers, where we take current price and add and subtract it from the volatility, our implied volatility, we can do 534 plus 7, which would be 541. Again, these are one spreads right here. This is actually showing no premiums up here this high. Really ain't showing too much of anything at all right now, but 541 is what our number says. So if we're looking for premiums, we would have to go down a little bit lower. Right now, again, 50-50 if you're looking at it in the pre-market. So let's look on the other side just to be 534 minus 7, 527, which would put us right here. Now, again, I'm looking at 527 and I'm seeing this is 54% probability out the money. That volatility is so crazy that to get further out the money, you got to go way back. You got to be out here. That's why I would definitely be letting this settle, because its volatility is kicking up like crazy. So these numbers probably not going to make any sense for right now until the market settles itself. So that's something to be aware of. But if you're doing, let's say, because even if you look right here for the bid ask, this bid is 21. This ask is 7.9. That's ridiculous. Those numbers ain't working. Those numbers is incongruent. Just visually looking at them, and you're never going to get no 88 cents off no one spread. This is $100 collateral. You're going to get 88 cents off that. That shows you how high the volatility is right now in terms of what we're seeing in the simulated trading. So, but as far as the steps, adding to the current price and subtracting for current price, that's our normal steps to find, to start narrowing down our entries. And some of us also refine it by using the probability out the money. I'm usually at about 80%, but sometimes 70, 75, depending on what's happening. But right now, market-wise, not happening. All right, not happening. I'll be letting this settle if I was looking at it, but it's still one spread. So for those who trade one spread or interested in one spreads, that is a possible way to go. Good morning, Carmen Lassiter. All right, so we got Google on the docket as well, and Triple Q. So let's go Google. Sorry. I'll do daily on here because Google's 4-hour is not that great to look at. Okay. So here we go. Google has actually been doing pretty well. They got this run up. This is just a pullback for them. It's not even a major pullback if you ask me, but in comparison to some of their peers anyway. So this has been about a month of pullbacks, but some of their peers have been pulling back for quite some time. I will consider this to be in a buyer zone on the weekly chart. This is a funny looking buyer zone, but leg in, two in the base, leg out. I'll be looking at that. If not a buyer zone, definitely something happening up here to stop this. So I will be looking at I'll be considering that as a buyer zone. It is right on a gap. Let's take a look at this gap. Then we're gonna take a break from this, take a look at earnings as well, because we did have some earnings happening this morning. All right, so what we got, depending on so we got leg in with a little bit of a gap down. We have a base candle, which is a super huge base candle right there. Kind of annoying when those pop up, but then we got a tremendous gap up for a leg out. So we definitely have a strong leg out. It has been filling this. This is a buyer's gap right here, right? So forgot to add this in for day gap. Make sure that's in there as well. On the right. This is a day gap. This is coming down here. Pretty powerful. These buyers are pushing this up. So we do have our buyer formation, buyer zone down here. And now I'll put our seller zone right here. And duplicate. I'll be somewhere in here. Might be a smaller leg in, but there's a couple things you can do right here. Now that I think about it, I've seen this charted multiple ways. I've seen it charted this way: leg in, base, leg out, and this would be considered one revisit. So I have seen it done that way, which would make sense because this will be a seller's gap right here. So that's a rush of orders being pushed down right there. And I'm gonna flip this price and name to the left. Just because we need to be able to see. Do it like that. So this rush down will be a leg in, base, leg out. This is the one that I like the most. And then a revisit here. So it came up in here, didn't go all the way through, got rejected, came down, created another gap between here and here. So there's an extra gap in there. The other way I've seen it done is something like that, where you do a smaller leg in, 3 in the base, and then the leg out where it gaps down a little bit on the leg out. I personally will do this one. So I like this one more. So we'll do this as the seller zone. And market. This is where we are sitting right now. Let's take a look. I'm trying to go for this coming Friday. So again, the way the market is set up right now, I personally wouldn't even be looking down here first. I'll be looking up here above. That's where I'll be going first. This is a 2.5 spread. 172.5 minus 170 is 2.5 for your collateral. Multiply that times 100. So that'll be $250 of collateral. Right now, of course, we keep saying it ad nauseum, but the market is up, or shall I say the VIX is up. These premiums are up right now. You're normally not going to get 1.08 on this 2.5 spread. Shoot, you lucky if you get 25. So this is high, but the steps that you would go through would be those steps in order to pick them. I build my leg separately. I click on the bid and then hold down control and then click on the ask. That is how I get my that's how I built the spread. Some people go to vertical and they would do it that way. Same thing. 170, 172.5 right there. I like to do it on the single just because I can change and maneuver the leg the way I need to see the different prices faster. But it's the same information. All right, so we're looking at obviously higher premiums for Google as well. I can assure you that will change as the market is open, especially since we are looking at tech in this situation that is taking the heat for the sell-off. And Google, although Google is not semiconductors, they are considered in the tech space, which of course means triple Q. It's a whole different animal. So what this is basically is what we just looked at with Google. So let me show you. This is triple Q is the exact same reversal pattern that I was mentioning earlier. So what I have here is leg in, base, leg out, right? This dashed lines, that's green for the daily. Okay. And then actually me and my accountability partner was debating on what the best course of action was for the rest of this. And as a matter of fact, just so y'all won't be confused, we'll just do it this way. So we'll go like this for the seller zone. I'll say 2. And duplicate. There you go. Leg in, base, leg out. There's a gap right here, which should be no surprise to anybody because it's been happening. I'm going to say duplicate this line. And what I see is leg in. leg in, 2 in the base, leg out, and this is the gap up. Gap is, in this case, is going to work in our favor because that helps as support. All right, let's do that. There you have it. There's one more gap right there. There could be something in here. What I usually do in this situation is when I see a strong rejection or something like that, but I don't see a clear formation, I usually mark it with gray since it appears to be a gray area to me. I'm not always sure, but it's like something's happening. So, whoops. Let's do that. I'm gonna say, don't need to show those and zoom in. All right, so that's what I see. Those, none of this is investment advice, of course. Just showing you what I see on the chart. So I will be putting this here and this here. So you're looking at price for 26 and 467. That's plenty to work with right there. You could also look on the weekly and the 4 hour to see if there's another formation that might be clear, which I don't see. I do like that I can change this to yellow because on my chart, yellow is weekly. Yellow lines are weekly. And this right here, this line has been touched multiple times on the weekly chart. So it's no longer gray for my purposes because I can see that it's a line, what I call a parity line. It has been support and resistance prior. So I feel okay with putting that in there as a stronger color for my chart organization. So it's cool to see that. I'm just looking to see if there's something else clearer, which it doesn't look like there is. So we'll stick to what's going on for the daily and call it a morning. So buyer zone down here, seller zone up here, with a couple of gaps in between, and us waiting to see what happens this morning. We'll still look at triple Q, obviously. We already know what to expect at this point. So that'll be what? 15. Yep. So we all the way down here with this. Yeah. You're going to want to wait until market is open before we start doing anything. I will be up here, as a matter of fact. Yeah, you got to go all the way up here before market open to start even looking at anything. And be aware that when you do start looking, if you're looking at triple Q, and some of the other tickers is probably going to do the same thing. They'll switch from being, let's say one spread to a half spread or something like that. So be aware of that happening as well this morning as we look to start getting into things. I just see this as 80%. It's a 2.5 spread right here, which is basically really no money. I'm sorry, not 2.5 spread, a half a spread right here. So yeah, so 50-cent spread for 17 cents. Yes, that's a little high. I mean, it's dope if you can get it. That's definitely more bang for your buck. But don't keep your hopes up when it comes to that. If you put that in too early. Let's take a look at so that's what I have for triple Q. Really on the bottom we could say 433, but that's not gonna make a difference because the premiums are higher. You be trying to go right here to start investigating. This looks about right for one spread sometimes. Somewhere between 6 cents and 15 cents is what I would expect, depending on what's happening. Quite honestly. So that's definitely something to watch. The SPX. Let's take a look at earnings. We do have E2T free resources. E2T-freebies.com. Please check that out. You can definitely enhance your knowledge base by picking up some of those free tools. It's definitely something that I would highly encourage. Let's go here to earnings. So before the open, Berkshire Hathaway, the Carlyle Group, Crystal Fresh Pet Alpha, Tyson, Axum, BioCryst, BioNTech, and Global Ship Lease. After close today will be Palantir, Hims, Hers, Clover, Lucid, Realty Income, Avis Budget Group, Teradata, CSX, Zoom Info, and Simon. I can't tell you that Teradata and Zoom Info are in the tech space. So that'd be something to be aware of. Tomorrow, before the open, is Uber, Celsius, Fubo TV, Caterpillar, Baxter, Vulcan Materials Company, ATI, Constellation, Clear, and Marathon. Right? Remember, I believe it was last week. Some of the other oil companies did report as well. After close on Tuesday, Supermicro, which is a tech company that I do not hear too many people talking about amongst all of this AI data center stuff. Rivian, who is a competitor with Lucid. We got Airbnb, Wynn, Devon, Reddit, GigaCloud Technology, Axon, Upstart, and Amgen, all after close on Tuesday. Wednesday, before open, Shopify, Walt Disney, Novo Nordisk, CVS Health, Global Payments, Emerson, Aurora, Lyft, Sony, Dynatrace, all before open Wednesday. After close on Wednesday, Robinhood, Magnite, AppLovin, Digital Turbine, Sarepta, HubSpot, Oxy, Energy Transfer, Coeur Mining, and the Dutch Brothers for the Peng Tang. Thursday before the open is Lily Vista Energy Plug, Datadog, Chenier, Novavax, Kronos, CyberArk, Hymax, and MP, Medical Properties Trust. That's what that is at the bottom. After close Thursday is SoundHound, who I've been paying attention to because of the AI space. Elf, Unity, Paramount, The Trade Desk, Rocket Lab, Clean Spark, who is in the Bitcoin space, along with Digital Turbine. They're in that space as well. Array Technologies, Ginkgo Bioworks, and B2 Gold. It's after Thursday. I mean, that's after close on Thursday. Friday, Canopy Growth. That would be weed. Nicola and Brayer from New Fortress Energy. I cannot see what this one says. Bree Legend, Biotech, Embecta, AMC Networks, and Algonquin. So when we talk about like the heavy hitters stepping in, let's say big tech, we don't necessarily have those, but we clearly have pretty much each day something that's at the top of somebody's list, with Palantir being on the list. Obviously, Berkshire Hathaway, Uber is on the list. A lot of people know Rivian and Airbnb. Of course, Upstart, Amgen, Shopify for Wednesday, Disney, of course. So we have, and of course, you got Lyft, Robinhood, Lilly, Elf, Canopy Growth Group. So, not necessarily the quote big techs, but definitely popular enough in their spaces. All right. Swing back. Oh, okay. So, hello, Carmen at Royal Diadem. Hello. We'll swing back and take a look, see at United Health. You know what? I always forget about United Health Group. I always forget about them. This is 7 years, 8 years worth of data, whatever. This is a monthly chart. And look at the run that they've been on. They're in, on the monthly chart, they're in what looks to be a channel, and it looks like they've broken out past that. But I always forget about them. They have enough volume. They have pretty good volume. Let's see. I took it off. I used to have the volume listed. Yeah, the volume back on here real quick. Volume. Come on. There you go. What kind of volume they talking about for UNH? Because I know it's got to be at least 1 million. Yeah, UNH. Is that 43 million? Am I seeing that right? I'm going to take quote trend off of here. All right. Okay, 43. Well, 43,000, but the market isn't up right now, so we'll see that as a change. But I remember it being pretty high numbers. I literally just keep forgetting about them. There might be some. I consider United Health, Costco, and Nvidia in the same category in terms of they seem to go up fairly regularly. Everybody has a pullback, but for their price points, they seem to be usually trending upwards. What I'll do for this is, because I haven't looked at this in a minute, so I'm going to put this, I'm going to mark the swing points real quick. And I'll just put these two in. Something like that. Weekly. Man. Let's go here. Go here. Do swing points on the weekly. Do one more under that one. Something like that. Yeah, that's a channel. It's a nice channel that this is in and breaking out of. There's a small gap right there. Let's look at the daily. And so that means that this is at all-time highs, is what that means. So you may not find there's not going to be something above it, meaning you will still be waiting for somebody to take profit and that kind of thing. But we can always mark the gaps. I'm going to do price on the right. We'll mark the gap. This is a daily gap. Do it this way. Activate. Boom. Give me another one. Boom. There you go. So we have those two. From what I'm seeing right here, the only thing that looks even remotely like some type of zone would be this one as the base candle. Leg in, base, leg out. It looks kind of shady. That seems to be the one I'm drawn to. Just looking to see if there's something. This looks like it could be a cheer formation, but these candles are kind of ruining it. But you definitely have this down here as your buyer zone formation. So we got that to work with. Let's see what the 4 hour says. The 4 hour doesn't say anything. I would be putting it right here. The 4 hour. Something like this. Again, we can only look at the buyer one, really. Because this is close to price, we normally would be waiting for the next candle to form. But technically, there are 3 candles here to create a formation. And since it's in this zone, I would be doing this. Buyers push this up really nice. So we were looking at just on the daily. This is where the buyers will be. Right in there. Same deal with United Health. See, the thing with United Health is I'll be looking at where the buyers might be, but I'll have to be aware of the fact that the market is falling right now. So this is a 2.5 spread, and you won't be getting 6 cents for $6 for 250 of collateral. Nobody's trying to be in that situation, right? So if you notice, so this is 78% out the money. That's if you're at the bottom right there. To me, you be standing in the way of a falling knife in that situation. Not so sure you want to do that, boss. This is 81% out the money going above it, and that's 38 cents, which is more than 10% collateral. So that's what I'm saying for UNH. Personally, I have Costco on my list. Let me see. I had Costco on there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put on this particular. I don't have SMCI on here. I'm gonna put these two. I'm gonna put UNH on this list. This broker. And this one. So I always forget about them because I have them on another list on the other broker. So now we're good. We'll be watching those. There's no telling where this is headed at the top, but this will be the buyer zone right there that I'll be looking at. Okay. And our last one is going to be, hey, Tamar, welcome to the club. This is NVIDIA. So we must have charted this one recently. No problem, Carmen. So we got leg in, base, leg out. Did we do NVIDIA already? Did I do this one today? Leg in, base, leg out for the seller zone. This one we did, this was a buyer's gap. So it pushed up, right? And then we say, so if we say leg in, base, leg out. So this will be the buyer zone. Technically speaking, what has happened here is this has started to fill this gap from over here. So this is starting to, it's only got about $6 left, something like that. The way this is looking, I mean, with all these candles, if we're doing leg in, these in the base, leg out, based on this new space that was filled, I'm not seeing why NVIDIA wouldn't be heading down some more. Because I would consider this a weak zone. Leg in, base, leg out. So I would imagine it's still going to try to push through here, obviously at some point. But there's a lot of support in this area with these gaps. Plus, I mean, obviously this is only $1, so we might not count that as a major support. But I'm saying this in terms of the gaps and how they work. So yeah, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't go right through this right here. You got leg in, all that happening, and then this right here is just a big mess. So there's so much going on right there. Just mark this as just gray because there's a whole bunch going on here. So it would not surprise me personally if NVIDIA dropped down a little bit from where it is. In the meantime, since this is a seller zone, I'll be looking at can't really look at too much right now, but the one spread, 19 cents. That's $19 on $100 collateral. 19%. 19% return on collateral for NVIDIA. And that's that. This did push up. There's buyers in here. So you would have to be, I don't even know if I would trust this. 80% out the money right now. No, it's only 5 cents. There could be iron condor, but I wouldn't be worried about that too much up until I see what the market does. But for right now, with everything falling, I would be trying to be above it. That's just me personally. All right, let's circle back. I'm looking in the chat box. I don't see any other requests. We got the Dow futures tumbled 1,200 points as global stock market rout intensifies. A global stock rout is deepening with investors fleeing to safe havens. Safe havens. Check this out. Apple shares dropped 7% after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway slashed his stake by half. Right? Don't forget, Berkshire Hathaway is who's reporting, one of the companies reporting this morning before market. NVIDIA Supermicro computer lead AI trade carnage with both stocks down more than 12%. Supermicro computers, SMCI, was the one that I was mentioning earlier. That's one of the stocks that you really don't hear people talking about, but obviously is a big enough dog in its space, at least recently, for it to gain some note there. All right. So CCS. I said CCS above price. That's what I hope I didn't say PCS. CCS, call credit spread, will be above price. If I said PCS, my fault. I was meaning CCS. All right. We have if you're interested in our membership, you can go to Educated to Trader, the number 2, trader.com. Join our membership. We have a Telegram group. Get together on a regular basis for our weekly training. Got a lot going on. The membership does give you access to the upcoming events. So basically, it's like getting a free ticket to the upcoming events, which is awesome. So, yeah, Janae, Bitcoin is falling. They keep trying to prop it up, but it is definitely falling. All right. And there's the bell, our E2T daily declaration. By faith, I am a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. I'm gonna go ahead and be nosy real quick and see how far down SPX dropped. Check that out. Woo. 53.44 down to 51.51. Oh my goodness. Janae, I don't understand your question. Would you do a 3 p.m. session? Are you asking if I would trade at 3 p.m.? Is that what you're asking? Since we have this gap, I ain't touching nothing until 10:30. I don't even know if I want to even look and watch, so I won't be tempted to do something. Ward said, I hope this isn't the beginning of a recession. Well, I'll say this. I seem to do better when stuff is falling, so I'm okay with the recession. I like to do the PDT hack, and I'm finding that I just need to be on the correct side of momentum in order for me to be okay. So, yeah. All right, so we got a nice gap down, which is we kind of figured that this morning anyway. And so we will look to see what goes down and watch how it interacts with Mancini numbers. In the Telegram group, I will add some of the other Mancini numbers and post this chart in there if anybody wants to look at it and refer to it throughout the day. All right. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We truly appreciate it. You all stay green, get this money, and have a prosperous trading day. See you all next time.